Hello my YouTube friends. So we have an impulse buy today with this one. Got it from eBay. I've been looking at it because it was basically on a bid, but the bid started at nothing. It was one of those types of bids where they start the thing at out, you see where you get up to, and this thing wasn't going up. And nobody seemed to be bidding on it. Nobody seemed to be going for it at all. So I just kept on watching it. To the last period of time, and then you could see the bids starting to creep up a bit, but I managed to get it at a really sort of decent price. So I thought to myself, why not? I pulled the trigger, got it at what I believe to be a decent price, especially for a die cast figure. I don't know what you would expect to pay yourselves for this thing, but I didn't pay much at all compared to what I was expecting. I mean, yeah, I was expecting it to be well over 300 quid to get something like this. Retail, obviously, that sometimes they're not as bad as that, but I was expecting about 300 quid and I didn't pay anywhere near that. So I was well happy, well happy. So for me, this is a one where I'll get it out, I'll have a look at it, I'll see if it fits in with my collection the way I would like it to, and if it doesn't, I'll end up just putting it back out for sale, but I thought to myself, why not? I might as well get it in, have a look at it, get it opened up, see what it's like. I know one thing, it's a heavy one. It's a bit of a monster for weight wise, so that's pretty good sign. So let's get it open. Let's get it have a look at it, so you can see what it is. Well, so you can see what it is, but to see what it's all about. So like I was saying, guys, this wasn't like an impulse buy. I bought a few more as well that are coming. There have been impulse buys because the people who are doing the same thing, starting a bid off at next to nothing, and then basically next to nobody was bidding on them, and I've managed to pick up a few little figures there that I believe I'm getting for like a really good price, and that if at the end of the day I'm not that thingy about them, I can get rid of them, probably make a slight profit on them, and put that towards getting some other figures that will fit me thingy better. So for this guy, I want to have a good look at him, see what he's like. Like I say, I can't have gone wrong. You can see the figure itself there on the front, looks really nice. I like that thingy. It's from Avengers Endgame, as you can see on the box. MMS looks like it's 530D31. Yeah, beautiful looking box on the front there. War Machine written on the top. War Machine on the side. And with the Avengers logo at the bottom, and on the back you have your warnings and what have you, and also the cast and crew who were basically involved in the putting of this thing together, and the sculpting and the painting and all that type of stuff. And then the other side is obviously where you open it out, and you can see it's like a sort of thingy style, foam style box in there, but it actually has a logo on there as well, which I think is pretty good. You can actually make that out from that angle better than I can from stand above. So we'll get this thing taken out of the box and show you that. As you can see, obviously it's out now. I don't try and show you it's taking it out because it's such an awkward size, especially for the size. I've only got a very small light box, as you can see by telling the corners that things come through. So I'll just take them out and then bring it back into view for use as soon as I've got it out of things. So this is the first bit that comes out. And as you can see, guys, this is the bit that shocked me. It was when it had on the thing that it was actually brand new. I thought to myself, yeah, you get often get people saying things are brand new when they're not. But I don't know if you can tell from that angle, but this is brand new, and I'll be able to show you why in a second. But there you go. I'm going to get the stuff out, lay them in the light box, show you the accessories you get with this guy, and then we'll go from there. So here you go, accessories wise, guys. Not as many as I thought there would have been, to be perfectly honest with you. That's a sort of surprises, because I've seen some of the other figures in this line of War Machine, and some of them come with a lot of different gun attachments and that to the arms and what have you. This one seems to have only come with the one gun attachment by the looks of it. But this is what we've got, guys. So this is what you work with. You got instructions, which normally speaking I would say you didn't even bother looking at, but with this one I think you do need to, because there is a lot of moving parts in there, you know, that will move around to help it with articulation. So it is best to flick through this and have a good read of it. Plus, as you can see, there's obviously batteries going to it, so you find out where the battery compartment is and do the batteries and what have you, you know. You can see that has the waist grabber for the dynamic light stand. Yeah, it's now to these things. It's just simple as that. And then you have which I think that is a really nice design on there. You know, I do like that. I think that is really sort of nice with end game written on. The only thing I'm not as keen on is that. You know, why couldn't they put a metal nameplate on it? You know, that would have finished it off beautifully if that had been a metal nameplate. You know, which I've seen them do on a number of occasions. I mean, you know me, I don't use them if I can help it, but it is nice to have one if for those that do use them, and it's nice for it to look nice. You know, that bit looks really nice, but that's the bit that you're not going to see as much when you're looking at your figures. That is what you're going to see, you know, as well as the figure itself. That is what you're going to see. So why couldn't that have been a metal nameplate? I would have done it even better. As you can see, you have assorted size batteries, which I'm afraid, guys, you're not going to see anything lit up on mine. I'm not going to get into the trouble of trying to put these things in to light it up, you know, but you do get the screwdriver and the tool to help you put these things in. So that's pretty cool. The one gun accessory you do get is this one, which is basically got a lot of sort of little bits and pieces to it to look at, but it's like one colour. I mean, what's that all about? It's just one colour. There's nothing to it. There's no differential things to it. You know, there's nothing to make it look like it's been fired. There's, you know, I mean, is that how it looked in the movie? I don't even recall, to be honest. I just watched the movie quite recently, but that just seems a bit dull. You know, that it's just literally, I mean, yeah, the level of detail in it is pretty damn good, and this does move, but it's actually quite tough. It's not sort of easy flowing. You know, I'm having to put quite a bit of pressure through that, which maybe that's because it's brand new, and that's pretty good. Yeah, these do have slight movement to them. Yeah, it'll pivot around on that axis, so that's pretty good, and I've got to find out where else that'll fit in on them. But yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed in the fact that that is just like one colour and it looks plasticky. It doesn't look metal. It doesn't look like it could do any damage to anything, you know. So that's a little bit disappointing in that respect. We have the head with the actual face sculpt in it, which I think that is pretty damn good. I mean, that is damn good. You know, you knew exactly who that's supposed to be. You can see that it's Rhodey. Yeah, you can see the actor's likeness to it. You know, you've got the my light shining in the eyes to give it that sort of sense, like it's glossy eyes, not just dull eyes. The paint apps on it are absolutely phenomenal, guys. You know, that is outstanding work. Again, the actual helmet itself, sort of slight battle damage to it. Yeah, but it is a beautiful sculpt. The face mask does move slightly. Yeah, and you do get this other part of it. This bit here, again, you can see sort of slightly battle damaged. Yeah, the eyes have got a see-through thingy because obviously you do have the ability to have lights on, though I don't think the lights will come through this bit, so why it's got it that way for on this one, I don't know. Maybe it's just to match the helmet that's on them. But you can sort of see when my fingers go across it, you can see there. And it does have a couple of magnets in it, so it'll just fit on the top of his head like that. Yeah, which, to be perfectly honest with you, when if you've got that on sort of basically that, it looks pretty good, but it's also sort of taking away a little bit of what is inside there, you know. But if you take it off, it looks damn strange with not having a part of the helmet on it, you know. So you need that on, you know, for it to not look strange. How I'm going to have them displayed, I honestly do not know, guys. See, I don't even know whether I'll eventually end up keeping them or not until I have a damn good thing. You put him in with me, the rest of my stuff, and see how he works. And maybe want to end up getting rid of again. But that is a damn good head sculpt, damn good paint work to it. I'm pretty damn impressed with that, you know. That is really good. Hands wise, you're getting two with the actual built-in thing where the hand is actually up, so it's basically pointing out like he's using it to fire off. Again, you can see that these do have basically a light up feature. I don't know how well you can see, but there you can see is the hole, so the light will shine through and come through the light up feature, which is would be pretty damn good if you can do it. But I really honestly, because I'll never use it, I'd only ever use it if I was doing the video like this. I think so what's the point in going through all that hassle, you know. It's just pretty pointless for me because I won't use it. Then you have these type of hands. Again, the light will shine through it, so that's pretty good. And these hands, these ones are the ones that have the articulation to them, so each joint in there will move, so it can be closed up or opened up, or giving the peace sign, or giving the rock and roll sign, or whatever, you know. It's one of those ones that you can do it however way you wish, which is pretty damn good. You get one for each side, and that basically, guys, is all the accessories you're getting with them, which is a crying shame. But you know, and it's just this one here. Yeah, this one here is the one that's bothering us. It's like, well, why is there no sort of color differential to it? Why have they made it look like a piece of plastic? You know, that's what it looks like to me. It just looks like a piece of plastic. It's a little bit disappointing in that respect. You know, it should have been made to look like it was metal, like it could do some damage to somebody, but instead it looks like a molded piece of plastic. Don't get me wrong, the details in it, the level of details to it is phenomenal. And maybe when he's on the character and you've seen him in a detail, it might not look as bad. It might look fucking fine. But to me, looking at it like this, I'm like, right, that's not that impressive. But hey, you know, it's the way it goes. Maybe that's why it doesn't sell as well. But let's get the character out now, guys, and show you what the character looks like. So here we go, guys. This is the character himself now. Like I said, yeah, those of you that are into these things will know and will be able to see straight away. This is why I know he's brand spanking new, guys. All these little bits of foam are all still in all of the joints. There's actually still plastic in there where his neck is to protect his neck joints. All these things to protect his joints. There's one down in his feet, plastic bits to protect his feet. That's why I know it's a brand spanking new figure, you know, because they wouldn't be that easy to put back if it wasn't a new figure. You had on the head sculpt that I had, you had the plastic still on the head sculpt, you had the plastic still on this head sculpt. It was all still there. Plus it was written down as being brand new. I just didn't believe it was brand new. I thought, oh no, it's going to be nearly new, like people always say, you know, oh, it's never been out of the box type of thing, even though they've probably had it in a detail for goodness how long, which it's just what you come to expect, you know, in order to get a sale. But this thing, as you can see, guys, is brand new. Now I'm going to apologise if you hear any noises or anything. I'm in the man cave. You know, it's in the man cave, it's made of wood. It's a very, very blustery day today, so you might hear some of the sort of windows getting blown a bit today, because it is very, very blustery here in the northeast of England today. But anyway, guys, we'll get a better look at him. I mean, first impressions are he's heavy and he looks really nice. He's got a sort of slight battle damage going on, not heavily battle damage, but slight battle damage going on him. Yeah, he does look sweet. Yeah, I mean, I must admit, he does look pretty damn good. What I'm sort of more thinking about is that, obviously, with it being War Machine is known for having all those different sort of big ass guns on him and and all you seem to have, and all I can see is the one gun, and that's it. you know, which is such a crying shame. But we're going to go through the articulation with him and stuff like that and see just how good he is. But first off, I'll do is I'll remove all these bits of foam and what have you, so we can get a better idea of his joints, and then we'll come back here then once I've removed them all. As you can see, guys, I mean, he stands up absolutely amazingly. All his joints are bang on, which you would hope they would be when it's being brand spanking new. And it's got a heck of a lot of articulation. I mean, it's not like I've been trying to articulate it before I bring it on camera to show you, because I always do the articulation with these guys, so I get the same amount of things. But obviously I've had to move it slightly in order to get the foam out. And there's a lot of moving parts to it, and there seems to be quite a lot of articulation to it. So let's get into that side of things, and before we're sort of punching and show you close-ups of everything, let's show you some of this articulation that we have, guys, so you can see just how good it is. Excuse the camera shake. So what we have is we'll go with the feet first. I'm just trying to get myself in position because I'm behind the camera and it's awfully hard to do. So we have bits that move around to give it flexibility to it. Suppose you can pull the feet down slightly in order to give it more flexibility. You've got a nice amount of flexation forward. It actually has toe inflection there as well, which is good. You can see the bit here comes forward to allow movement. You've also got one at the back to allow the backward motion, you know, which is pretty good. You also have a bit on the side here which moves out in order to allow you to flex in over. The only issue you've got is that this one doesn't. Why they didn't allow this one to move as well is a bit strange. So you can move his foot out over, but maybe it's because you don't really need to move the foot as much out over as what you do in over if he's doing certain poses. So all those little bits around it move in order to give you the flexion in the feet. And what I say, so that's got a good amount of motion in the feet, which is damn good. There's no swivel at the knee, anything, which you never get anyway, but it does, and you can see, you can hear it. It's like a ratchet style effect. You get a massive amount of motion in that knee. I mean, that is incredible. Yeah, that is absolutely incredible. That is what you want to see in a range of motion. You know, that is just absolutely stupendous. Yeah, you've got the same issue as per always with hot toys, in that you can't really bend the leg back over much. You can see in this one that the hips do have moving parts here in order to give you some ability to maneuver the legs. But again, back over you don't get much. Oh, and this it just popped off. His leg just popped off. You can see forward you've got a bit of motion there, but you can't sort of tilt it. If I kind of keep popping the damn thing off, like. And that's not going to help now. We eventually got it, guys. So what you've got is a ratchet style system which can pull, you can pull it down away from the body itself. You can see it can be pulled down. This one's obviously up, so you just pull it down like so with a ratchet style system, and that way you can get more, heck of a lot more motion going forwards. You can get a little bit more motion actually going backwards as well, not loads, but you can still get a bit more motion going backwards, a lot more motion going forward, which is always good. Yeah, and it also gives you the ability to obviously make them do a lot more of like a split style thing, which to me, you're not going to be using them in a motion like that, you know. I mean, it is good that you have got that range of motion, but you're not really going to have them doing the bloody splits, are you? Yeah, unless somebody's that silly that they want to do a pose like that. I mean, maybe, yeah, you want them to be able to go out, if you want to bend this knee up and have him almost sort of like look like he's doing a half split. You know, they have sort of seen motions like that where they land with one leg straight out, the other leg bent in front, and yeah, it'll work fine. Yeah, so, and you do have the ability to sort of flex it in and out there, and then just push it up, back into place, and boom. Yeah, gives you a nice amount of leg motion there, which is pretty damn good. Kind of going far wrong with that. You've got some waist motion, which you can, again, you can lift them up to get them to look down a bit. Yeah, or get them to bend back over a bit. Yeah, and then you can press it back down, and boom, it closes the gaps up. So that's pretty good. Yeah, we're going to move this camera up so you can see his arms and shoulders, guys. So just bear with me. What we're going to have now is, you can see there, it's got a pretty good bend at the elbow. You have a sort of shoulder joint motion there. Again, it's another one that possibly pulls out a bit to give you a bit more range. His armour, you can see, will move around to allow the ability to get greater range of motion from it. Yeah, so you're getting pretty good things. The peg, yeah, is a different sort of peg. Yeah, so you will get a little bit of motion, but not loads because of the actual armour here. We'll just push back in, so you can see you get plenty enough motion there. And his head, range of motion, you can pretty much look all the way down. Range of motion back is where we want it, because if you want him to do a flying pose, which is a shame, you can never seem to get a character where the head goes sort of back far enough to make it so that you could have him flying towards you like that and have him looking up at you. You know what I mean? I've yet to find the one that you can do that with, which is such a shame, because that's what you'd love to be able to do, is have a one off a dynamic flight pool look like he's flying towards you. But that's a shame, but that's the way they are. Maybe there is a character out there, maybe somebody knows of a character out there that is like that, you know. And like I say, you do have some light up features which I haven't got lit up, and I'm not going to bother with that. It's just too much like hard work for me. I can't be harassed with any of that stuff. You know, but his eyes would light up. Put his things down on his feet to help me stand better at it. His chest feature would light up, his eyes would light up, and obviously if you have your other style of hands in there, his hands will light up. Yeah. What we're going to do now, guys, is, since we're showing you the articulation, I'm going to sort of punch in, give you a closer look at the details on this guy, because he is pretty damn detailed. I like the look of him. I'm just hoping that he'll fit in with me stuff and look good. Otherwise, at some point I'll end up getting rid of him. But so far, I like the look of him. He looks pretty good. It's just a disappointment that that cannon is not very thingy, which I will put onto the character when I can find out where it goes. But first off, we'll punch in, take a closer look at him, show you the levels of details on this guy. First off, you've got the helmet. You can see there, you can see the little bits of battle damage, you know, the scuffing and what have you to the helmet. Yeah, he looks a mean machine. You know, I like that. You can see bits of battle damage on his chest plate, which supposedly the chest plate does come off. And you can see the scuffing on the shoulders. You can see the insignia on his shoulder. Yeah. It's a nice looking piece here, and I like some of the sort of weathering to it. The articulation wise, he's bang on. You know, you've got a lot of articulation wise, so you should be able to get him in pretty much most poses that you would want to get him in. Yeah, and the details to him are pretty good. The only thing I'm a bit thinking about is that it seems to be quite a flat looking piece. You know, it's like sort of, you've got the two different colours to it, but they're very flat. You know, there's no sort of colorations to it. There's nothing to differentiate the different stuff. I do like the fact that you have his name plate on there. Yeah, there's a nice level of details to it. I'll turn him around. Yeah, and he's a bulky piece. You can see that he's a bulky boy. There must be where the thing he goes into there, his gun, so we'll put his gun on him in a second, show you that and see if it looks any better when it's on him. Yeah, so I'm happy enough with the guy, and I think he's going to look pretty good. It's just whether he's going to fit and stay in the collection or not, it's a different matter. But I've got to admit, guys, yeah, he is a nice bulky piece. Yeah, you kind of gone wrong with the levels of articulation you can get with him. I'm pretty pleased with the fact that he can stand up on his own quite easily. You just have to watch. You see, I've had the issue with this leg popping off a few times until I got it in the right position, which is what basically why I do this thing for, so you can see that something you might have to watch for when you get it, is that if you're not careful about how you try and maneuver things, you might get the legs popping off. Easy enough to pop back on, but you might have that thing, and it might become an issue in the future that that leg might end up popping off and on, but hopefully not. Hopefully it'll be nice and sturdy there again, because it seems to be sturdy enough. You know, I pulled down on the leg and it didn't pop back off again, so that's okay. But these are what I'll do these things for, guys, to show you, the ranges of motion you can get and any potential pitfalls that you can face. But let's bung his gun on and see how it looks. As you can see, guys, I've put his head sculpt, his other head sculpt on, and I've basically almost tried to make him look like he's actually saluting, and that he's sort of hovering and giving a salute to people. The gun, you can see, is attached to the back. It does move up onto his shoulder there. The only problem you've got with this is they should have maybe given you a hand that was in a saluting style thing, because obviously you can see there the fingers are splayed, so if you get it at the wrong angle, it's just not going to look right. And also obviously, because even though you've got quite a nice amount of movement in that joint, it's still not able to get close enough to his face. That's why I've had to put this one on, to make it look not quite as bad. So that's one of the sort of the issues that I have with it. But other than that, he looks pretty damn good. I'm going to find somewhere for him to go now, and then see what happens. See if I end up eventually keeping a hold of him or not. For the time being, I will be, but you never know. It's one of those things with me. I've never really sort of been a huge War Machine fan. I do think he's an awesome character, and I think there's an awesome amount of actual maneuverability and what have you on him. He's pretty damn good for that. I think it's a damn good figure at the end of the day, but whether it's going to fit in with what I want, even though I do have a hell of a lot of the Marvel characters, whether this particular one's going to fit in with them or not, I don't know. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. I really do appreciate those that have spent the time to watch this. It means a lot to me. And I will catch you in the next one. It's the Bearded Nerdy Oaf, and I am out of here, guys.